Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, anybody or everybody that is watching. I am Joe, and this is the Beer Garden preview. We're going to have Sha Tin this weekend and a Big Ten race card, and we're going to be preview. They have a lot this weekend. They have the up the straight races, they have the dirt races, they have the turf races. So we're going to start with race number 3, and that is the Snapdragon Handicap, a Class 4 over the 1650 on the all-weather track. And the first part of the card, so the first two are small fields, and then we get over to the big fields. And Steve, who do we have for this race here?
Oh, race number 3, number 12, El Valiente. Recent running form in this race is quite thin on the ground, but at least El Valiente comes here in good form. He finally made the breakthrough on his penultimate start, and he's a consistent performer. I think this is all weather. I think this is his favourite surface, and despite barrier 11, I think he still looks one that you have to take seriously. Morera has ridden him 3 times. He's been first, second, and sixth. And although he's £8 higher than his winning mark, he's off 41 now. I still think it looks pretty competitive. And I think he has a leading chance. So for me, El Valiente.
El Valiente is pretty good over the all-weather with a third, a first, a third, and a third. And Joe Morera's up and barrier 11. So we're looking forward to seeing that. And Randy, who do we have?
Well, speaking of the barrier 11, I'm going to take the 11. G1 Excellent. I think this horse could be the lone speed here. I think he can get loose in the lead. I think this horse can go the distance. Hasn't before, from what I see. I don't know how far back it goes, but hasn't gone this long, but I don't think that's a problem. I think it's a 1-gear horse, which kind of bothers me a little bit in the stretch, but I think he could be loose enough on the lead to take it. So I'm going to go with G1 Excellent here.
G1 Excellent looks like making their all-weather debut and hasn't had a win yet, so should be on the pace or thereabouts. And Wagner Borgs and drawn number 2. And Charene, who do we have?
Yeah, in race 3, I will go for number 9, Cable Speed, and he will also be my value bet on Sunday. I believe that he will have some great value because he will be racing over the all-weather track for the first time, and he has some American pedigree in his dam side. So I think that he may like the dirt surface. And before coming to Hong Kong, he actually won 2 all-weather races in the UK at Lingfield and Wolverhampton, over around a mile. And unfortunately, he had colic in summer, but he's recovering well after the surgery and he had enough rest. The last time out, he returned after a long spell. He showed some good speed, but he did not keep till the end over Happy Valley, the turf track. And it was a quite good warm-up for him. So second up on Sunday, I expect him to improve. And before this race, Cable Speed also had a barrier trial at Chung Fa. He hits the line strongly when clear in the final furlong. So Cable Speed, for me, he will also be my value bet.
Big value bet for Charene at the current Australian market at $101. So if she happens to hit it, then we'll be going to KFC tonight. But yeah, it's a all-weather track. We had won a novice stake. So after in the UK, after you face some maidens and in the handicap, you do face some winners. So it's kind of like going into the allowance races in America. So it will be interesting to see. I took the one above her, number 8, Blotting Paper with Alex Hamlin. Hasn't had a win yet in this season, has been spelled, but looks like he's trying to hit the board now. Same with Randy here. I'm going to go with the speed horse, Uncle Mo. Blotting Paper should be up on the speed and probably battling it out with Randy. So we might have a ding-dong battle at the end with Randy here, and maybe all the other ones close, and we'll get your trio for this race. So to recap, race number 3, number 12 El Valiente for Steve, number 11 G1 Excellence for Randy, Cable Speed for Charene, number 9, and I'm going for number 8 Blotting Paper. So now we're going to go on to race number 5. This is a 1,200-meter race, the Marigold Handicap Class 4. So this is one of the turf races on the card with a lot of first-time runners. And Steve, who do we have?
I went for sixth generation and also number 6, drawn 10 under Blake Shin. A nice lightly race type, 2 runs. Last time he was a never near a 7th to Pins Prince over course and distance. And it was a good run. He was from barrier 12. He didn't get the clearest of passages, but he angled out and stayed on nicely. As you say, Joe, a few newcomers here. Whether they will be good enough to win, I think it's more likely that will happen in the next race we preview, but you never can be sure. But yes, so hopefully 6th generation might be good enough to win third up. I think there's obviously lots of dangers, including Max Static, who was disappointing last time. I tipped him last time, but he was very poor. But he's won from 17, but that win came under Zach Person, who's back on board. And he's just the type of horse to bounce back from a disappointing run because he's generally consistent. But for me, hopefully 6th generation and the excellent Blake Shin.
Yeah, they keep the faith with Blake Shin aboard. Is going to have his second run. 3-year-old out of Per Encanto. So we'll see how that goes. And Randy, who do we have?
I am going to take the number 12 Salutation here. This horse last out, you're going to hear me talk about this race twice, actually. He ran second. Oh, well, he ran, I don't know, he ran against Millennial Falcon, who ran a really good race. I think this time this horse needs to be much closer in the lead to the but I feel like if this horse isn't last, he will win. But put it that way. So he's not in the back of the pack, he'll win. I think this horse will be spotted better. And I like the move here. He was tough last time out. So I'm going to go with the 12 Salutation.
Salutation we'll get into in a moment, but Charene, who do we have here?
Race 5, my selection will be number 3, Pleasant Endeavour. He is a 2-time winner over this course and distance last season. However, he did not have any breakthrough in Class 3. So now in Class 4 at the rating of 57, I think he's able to bounce back. And last time out over 1400 meters, he was beaten by 2 lengths. And this time he will go down to 1200 meters. That will be more suitable for him. There are not many fast horses in this field. So gate 8 will still good for my pick number 3, Pleasant Endeavour.
Number 3, Pleasant Endeavour with Derek Lung, who happened to have a win, as Charene mentioned, against one of our favorite horses, Monster Kaka. So on the bottom, we're gonna get back to him. I also picked Salutation as well with Karastine, and I think Randy said it. If he's not too far back and if he's not last, he should be closing in pretty strongly. I mean, he had Joe Moreira at one point and also raced against Millennium Falcon. And he's drawn well. He's drawn number 1. He's kind of where you want to be in the 1200 meter in at Sha Tin, also at Happy Valley. So to recap, we're going to have Steve goes for number 6, 6th generation. So it's kind of a hunch bet here because it's also $16.
Yeah.
Randy and I go for number 12, Salutation with Karastine. And then Charene goes for number 3, Pleasant Endeavour with Derek Lung. And now we go on to race 6, and this is one of my favorites, up the straight, the 5 furlong, the Cancho Handicap Class 4. And Steve, who do we have?
Well, I thought this was probably one of the most difficult races that we were picking. I went for number 11, Cheval Valiant, drawn 10. Now, he's got a lot of early pace, this horse. He's perhaps going to be a sitting duck for a closer. But he's a kind of horse that I think he's a good value bet, as you'll come to, Joe, yourself. He generally runs his race. He's been placed in his last 2 of his last 3 over course and distance. And Lyle Hewittson's been riding well, and that culminated, of course, in a win on Valiant Elegance last time at Happy Valley. It looks a very tricky race to call. I think the likes of Lucky Gore and Sunshine Legendary, 2 newcomers that look capable of winning. They've also looked quite fractious in the stalls on their barrier trial, so it'll be interesting to see how they cope with the actual race day. Sunshine Legendary has a nice draw, a nice double-digit draw. And the other one, Lucky Gore, drawn 3. I'm never so fond of a horse that's out in the centre of the track. It's always nice to be drawn high, I think. And there's also the likes of Savvy Delight, who I wouldn't rule out. In Flying Season, of course, second on debut, he's drawn on the paint. He's drawn in 14. But hopefully Cheval Valiant can give us a good run for our money, breaking from stall, barrier number 10.
Yeah, number 11, Cheval Valiant with Lyle Hewitson, who did finally have a win and finally got the monkey off his back, trying to go for 2 at Sha Tin. Now, in this race, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are all debutants. So they're first-time starters, And Randy, this is your debut up the straight at Sha Tin, one of my favorites. I know you like the straight races. Who do you have?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's funny because I guess I have a pattern here where I'm going speed closer, speed again. So I'm going with the speed here. I believe in Kowloon East Star. I like always horses second off a layoff, especially off when they come back 2 months later and win. He won nicely last out. If you watch it, his stride coming home was one of those. He looks like he doesn't like horses running by him. And he dug, he ran hard. I really think this horse is something that he's back. Looks like he had some problems before. I just think this horse wants to go to lead, and I don't know how hard. I think he'll work very hard to keep it. So I'm going to go with Kowloon East Star, the 5.
5, Kowloon East Star has a win up the straight earlier this season, so he's going to try to go for the double here. Draw number 6, so he's going to be in the crown of the course, but has some form behind Cordyceps 6, and you know how Cordyceps 6 has gone the last couple of races. And Charene, who do we have?
Yeah, in race 6, I will go for one of the debutant, number 9, Sunshine Legendary. And I agree with Steve that this race is very tricky because it is the final leg of the Triple Trio. And on Sunday, the Triple Trio contains the huge jackpot of more than 11 million Hong Kong dollars. So this race will be the final leg very, very difficult, very tricky. So for number 9, Sunshine Legendary, he is a 3-year-old side by Flying Artie out of an Exit and Excel mare. He's bred for sprint races, and he had 5 barrier trial period to his debut. We can see that he is progressing quite well, become more and more mature. Zach Purton will be on board this time, and also jumping from gate 12 will be quite a good draw for a straight race. He looks big and strong with more than 500 kilos, and I think that he is now ready for racing, and he is able to have a good result on debut on Saturday. So Sunshine Legendary for me.
Number 9, Sunshine Legendary with Zach Purton. Now, Zach Purton on a debutante for the last couple of times has won, and won on good prices. So I see where Charene is going here. Also, half brother the Yardstick, who was a graded or group stakes winner in Australia. So 3-year-old. And I am also going for number 11 as well, Cheval Valiant with Lyle Hewitson. Like I said, or like what Steve said, actually. Yeah, he's been on the speed, and we saw how he did it with Valiant Elegance earlier at Happy Valley. I think he could take on the speed and stay up there. If he does get into a battle with number 5 Kowloon Star, then I'm going to be kind of worried because he also has speed too. And Ruin Maya is also another one that's been riding well and wants to get more winners. So to recap, me and Steve go for number 11 Cheval Valiant. Charene goes for number 9 Sunshine Legendary, and Randy goes for Kowloon East Star with Ruin Maya number 5. And now we're going to go on to our favorite part of the Beer Garden, and that is our best bets. And within the 10 race program, it looks like we're going to have almost every race covered for you guys. And Steve, who do we have as your best bet?
I went to race number 9 for Flying Ace to maintain his unbeaten sequel. He's unbeaten, three runs, 3 wins, drawn in 10. Not the greatest of draw, but he overcame worse last time, ridden once again by Matthew Poon. And he won very well last time. Stylish victory. The 3rd has won since, the 4th has won since, the 5th has won since. And hopefully he can win once again at the expense, I think, of Rock Your Heart, who looks an interesting horse under Zach Purton. But for me, Flying Ace to win his 4th on the trot.
Flying Ace, if you ever watched him, he won at Sha Tin at Happy Valley, and then his last win, or his win at debuting at Sha Tin, was really impressive because once you see him, he was like bottled up, and then all of a sudden he goes by everybody. He did the same thing last race also with you do get the 1 pound or the 1 kilo apprentice claim with Matthew Poon as well. So that's going to be in race number 9. Number 3, Flying Ace. And Randy, what is your best bet on the card?
I went to race 4, and I took Noble Boys. And I think this horse is I can't believe this horse wouldn't be the favorite here after looking at this race. Just because, ran very good last time out. And this was that Millennium Falcon race again. He ran 6th, but you could put a blanket over 2nd through 6th. So don't let that 6 fool you. I mean, he was right there. couple lengths off. Then he drops in class and gets Burton on board. I mean, this worked for me last time, but I think this horse is solid, drops in class, gets the best jockey there, and was pretty close last time out. So I think this is a no-brainer. Noble Boy is the 2 in the 4th race.
Number 2, Noble Boys in the 4th race over the 1,200 meters with Zach Purton. Also draw number 2, so that's where you want to be in those races. And yeah, I guess it gets the drop in class, but has to carry the top weight, and has been having a lot of different jockeys on him, so I'm sure that Zach Purton could guide him home. And Charene, who do we have as your best bet?
Yeah, I will have my best bet in the opener. I like number 2, California Deep Shop. He will be racing over this class 1 1650 meters all-weather track, and he was beaten by Willpower in late December before. It showed that he is quite a good all-weather horse, and he will face Willpower again this time. The weight difference will still be the same, 4 pounds, but this time California Deep Shop will be ridden by Joe Moreira. I believe that he can bring some difference to this horse, and I believe there is a good chance for him to win. So my best bet, race 1, number 2, California Deep Shot.
Yeah, California Deep Shot with Joe Moreira, and you're going to get the shorts on him in race number 1, $1.91, but has been in a graded 1 race or group 1 race behind Wellington, who won the Queen Silver Jubilee Cup, and then also is behind a lot of big name horses, Cheerful Days, Willpower, Sight Success. So we're gonna see how that goes. Yeah, he's in form right now, so it's gonna be scary to see him. I'm gonna go with race number 8 as my best bet. Number 6, Beauty Live. He also, same with Charene, has Joe Moreira on board. Oh, I'm sorry. Race number 8, number 6, Beauty Live. Yeah, Joe Moreira on board for the Beauty Stables, going for the hat trick with Frankie Lore. Draw number 5. This is a 1600, so this is over the mile. I think he does have a definite chance to go 3-peat. Had one with Joe Moreira before and hasn't had below a third. It's going to be a tough field, pretty competitive field, and he is the short price favorite in this one as far as the Australian market goes. It does take a step up in trip, but I think he could get it done again. The other competition, I mean, doesn't really suffer leading fortune, so I think it's going to be out of the 2, but I opted with Joe Moreira, race number 8. Horse number 6 as my best bet on the card. And now we're going to go on to our value bets. And Steve, what is your value bet on the program?
Well, I went to a real underachiever. I went to race number 4, Vector, number 12, drawn 6. I actually put him up as a value bet. I think it was 2 runs ago. He's really tumbled down the ratings. He's down to a rating of 20 now. Can you believe it? He's only had 14 runs. So, I mean, from an opening mark of 52, he's, apart from his initial run where he stayed at 52 on his second outing, he's just steadily gone free fall all the way down. But he amazingly won his last trial. He's a horse that seems to struggle getting home in his races, but I do think there's a race in him. It's interesting. Tony Cruz has still got the horse. He's still keeping the faith, and Karis Teton keeping the faith too. From gate number 6, I think he's good value to get in the placings, and maybe just one day Victor will actually get home. Who knows? Hopefully he will.
Yeah, number 12, Vector in race number 4, still looking to get his win in Hong Kong, 14, and hasn't even hit the board yet. So fell all the way down in the ratings. So we saw what happened on Saturday, or on last Saturday at Sha Tin, with the horse climbing down the ratings, finally getting a win. So could definitely happen, especially you have Karis Teton and no weight. In a class 5, anything could happen in a class 5 race. So we'll see how that goes. Only carrying 51, so one of the lighter weights. So yeah, that'll be a lot of things going for him. And Randy, who do we have as your best bet on the card?
I'm going to go with race 10. I'm going to play the 2, Seattle Choice. And if you look at, like we talked about the class drop a couple times back. Now this horse's last 2 races were really, really weird. Because the first time when he does the class drop 2 back, he chases crazy fractions and ends up fading, like just not a good ride in a sense, or the clock wasn't working for the jockey. New jockey goes on him, a jockey that was on him before. And last race, this just wasn't, he got stuck in the pocket. He stuck himself in the pocket really bad. Would have probably won the race if he wasn't stuck in the pocket. Do yourselves a favor, watch that race. And this horse is good for the price, and he's staying at the same class. 2 hard luck starts, different jockey now aboard, which is interesting. But if this horse can get a clean run, Seattle Choice, I like him at his price. Especially.
Yeah, $26 in the market. And I think he's one of those horses that when you look back and you see who the horses he's beat, Buddies, he was against Packing Victory, Silvestre, who just won with Zach Purton at Happy Valley, Trillion Wind. I think he's one of those where it's like the class or the what is it? The form is temporary, but the class is permanent because he has had a win at a almost a pretty high weight for that 53 kilos against Buddies, and he was the favorite too. So he's beat Buddies. Buddies is actually a group winning horse. So yeah, that's not a bad bet actually for $26 in Ruin Maya. So race number 10, horse number 2, Seattle Choice. And Charene, what is your value bet?
Yeah, so let me go back to race 3 that we discussed before. My value bet will be number 9, Cable Speed. We just mentioned that this horse does not have a good form over the turf track, but it will be different over the all-weather track. And also, trainer Bano Yong is good of taking care of this kind of horse, like Dragon Pride and Multimore this season also have some good results. So hopefully, Cable Speed can cause an upset under Keith Young and jumping from gate 6.
Yeah, number 9, Cable Speed in race number 3. So one of the all-weather races, and he does have all-weather form, winning 2 in a row, and then going to Happy Valley and trying the turf. But now he finally gets his chance to go back to the all-weather surface or the all-weather surface. So be really interesting to see how he goes here, especially at the price that you're gonna get, which was $100. So yeah, that's going to be really good. So my value bet is also is in race number 6. That is the class 4 race. Horse number 11, Cheval Valiant, like as what Steve mentioned, on the speed, Lyle Hewitson, draw number 10. I mean, we pretty much covered it, but he also has some form against Cordyceps 6 as well. So yeah, that will be it'll be interesting to see how he goes, especially up the straight at Sha Tin after doing it a whole bunch of times. So yeah, so to recap, Steve is value bets race number 4, horse number 12, Vector. Randy is race number 10, 2, Seattle Choice. Charene is race number 3, 9, Cable Speed. And oh man, Charene, if you get that, I think I'm going to quit the show because I don't think anything could top that. And race number 6, number 11, Cheval Valiant for myself. All right. Thank you everybody for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We also have, if you haven't seen it yet, we have a preview for the Super Saturday this weekend at Dubai. And then we're going to be doing, some other big races later on this season, or at least in March. So looking forward to that, and hope everybody has a good day and good luck.